Hello and welcome back to our third episode of the Labyrinth of Thieves campaign. We are your hosts and storytellers here from Wanderlustdnd, ready to dive into tonight's mystery. We will be down Revenant for this game, but I will do my very best to play him, but I apologize in advance. So, unless anyone has anything they'd like to bring forward, let's jump in.
I didn't do it.
Sure. We'll get to that. So, last time, you all banded together on the upper decks of the Silver Countess to battle strange and ethereal creatures that seem to appear from large tears in the sky. Electric eels and floating jellyfish all kind of lashed out at you. And you managed to beat them back, quite ferociously, I might say. Cashé secured Lord Belzal before taking him down below deck, leaving the rest of you to fight the rest of them on the upper decks. She went off to find his sister and help the rest of the passengers that were in the lower decks of the ship. The rest of you, I believe, pretty much vaporized all the other creatures that were on the top of the deck, so it was fine. Following the fight, the captain came over to you all, thanked you, offered you some free drinks, and kind of set the crew on to make any repairs that need to be made. But the ship is still sailing steadily towards Manira at the moment. Below deck, you found Hadram, who was making some lavish cocktails, and the rest of you and the passengers kind of tried to calm your nerves a bit, settle in, enjoy the drink and the music. To which Al thoroughly enjoyed himself all night, I believe, with a lot of dancing by himself. Gizmo, I believe you
talking to Revenant as well.
Oh, yes. Gizmo, I do believe you are the one who installed a changeable gun, or not gun, a dagger hand into Humphrey.
The gun's like the next level up.
The gun is the next level, yes. A little laser gun, I'm assuming, is going to be
yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I shouldn't have said that.
Just installed this miniature Gatling cannon.
Humphrey now is armed and dangerous. And Fenris, I believe you enjoyed some drinks, people watching, and doing little tricks of the eye throughout the evening.
At a light show.
Little light show, exactly. Revenant was a little bit more curious. He didn't drink. He instead overheard a very heated conversation between the ambassador and a human man named Ivolo. Cashé, on the other hand, you did not enjoy your evening as much, as you began to see strange visages of a monster haunting you. Seemed to be using the faces of other passengers to get closer and closer to you before vanishing. You decided to head to bed early and spent a bit of time getting to know the Altane's nanny before basically going to sleep. One by one, you all separated your ways for the night and found your cabins sleeping or working late. I believe Gizmo was working under the covers. However, in the early hours of the morning, just as sun broke through the clouds and bathed the Silra ring in streaks of gold and pink, you all woke to the sounds of screaming. A voice being carried throughout the ship, shouting, "Help! Help! Someone's killed the ambassador!" So we fade back in. I will get you on Zimmer. Sometime today. There we go. We fade back in as you all wake to the sounds of the screaming, an individual shouting for help because the ambassador seems to be dead. You all wake in your cabins. What would you all like to do?
I'll just roll out of bed on hearing this and pick up Silverlight and head out the door.
Okay. Gizmo, were you sleeping or were you still working?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that he would have slept whatever minimum number of hours that is needed, and then would have got up early and started tinkering away again. So I'd say on hearing that, he's now gathering things together as quickly as possible to go then go and look.
Okay. Shoving it into the bag of holding. Cachet.
She would have advised everyone to stay where they are, not to move. Quickly got her guns and stuff and left the cabin.
Okay, yeah. So Anya immediately kind of rushes from her cot over to the children, kind of gathers them a bit and kind of just looks at you just wide-eyed and just they're all three of them are looking a bit spooked, but they are going to stay in the cabin for now.
I'll keep you safe. And then leave.
Be careful. Okay. Fenris, as you step out, actually all of you, if you're all kind of following out into the mess hall of the airship, excuse me, you notice that Miss Alich and her apprentice are hot on your heels, coming out of the cabin. This is the professor and the student that was talking to you, Gizmo. Both of them looking quite eager to find out what's going on. As you come out, you do see that the warrior, the Solander warrior, is currently sitting on one of the couches. She gets up, leaving like a cup of tea behind, and is kind of looking around as you all watch the Tabaxi individuals kind of stumble out from the second-class cabins, looking quite frantic. The warrior kind of walks over to them and kind of grasps their arm and says, Sanmei, what happened? And you see the Tabaxi kind of, he's dead. The ambassador is dead. And they kind of all gather around, looking towards one of the rooms that are left, the door is left ajar.
And walk straight up to the door.
Okay, this is the door.
Yeah, I'll follow her then.
Okay. As you enter the second-class cabins,
I'm a bit... Oh, no.
both of you do see the human individual with kind of streaks of blue in their hair, they were the ones who were speaking to the ambassador, kind of look over and look a little bit concerned, and then just kind of quickly go back into their cabin and close the door.
Okay. Amber, I got myself a bit stuck there on the map.
Are you stuck? Where are you?
Up in underneath.
Where are you going?
Oh, hello there.
I don't know.
Let's get you. Let's get you. There you go. Oh, where is all my blood? Okay, there we go.
Could I, if I see Fenris passing through, or would Fenris be passing through?
No, I'm on the down below.
Yeah, currently
no,
you
sorry.
are up in the lounge.
Would Cashé have been passing through?
No, I mean,
No,
unfortunately, that was just the map.
Okay, right, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
No,
you see
you're
this.
correct. Currently, you would have awoken as well, Al. Humphrey currently next to you, pretending to sleep, but obviously not really sleeping. And you would see the Clockforge Taurus was currently kind of powered down and seems to have risen their head and is looking around at the sounds of the screaming.
As the
Okay.
blue hair guy starts into the room, I'll just lean into Cashé and say, well, probably shouldn't let him leave.
Absolutely not. Everyone into the lounge. This is now a military operation.
Okay, you say this?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check.
So,
What was that?
it's dirty talk.
Dirty 20. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So you say this with kind of intense authority in your voice and kind of taking over the situation, and you do watch that most individuals seem to maneuver their way into the... Did you say the lounge or the mess hall? Sorry.
I said the lounge.
The lounge. Okay. All right. So then slowly but surely, individuals start to move their way up. You see the couple from the upper decks that you helped the night before kind of link arms and kind of move their way upstairs. And so most people make their way up to the lounge. However, the individual that went into their cabin does not.
Well, should I bring him out?
Fenris,
These guys go as well.
that might be best.
Okay, I'll head over to the door then and check and see if it's locked.
Okay, you can go over and kind of twist the mechanism in the door. Just immediately opens. You see the human individual kind of gathering some paperwork and shoving it into a satchel, and kind of looks up at you. It's very rude to just barge into someone's cabin.
Did you get the memo? Everyone to the lounge.
I did, and I was moving my way there now.
Minus all of the papers.
I made a mess. I was cleaning it up.
Oh, how thoughtful towards the maids. Afraid we have to insist this time.
Very well. Give me a moment. Gathers a few more of his things, puts the satchel on, and goes to follow you.
Okay, I'll let him go first and follow behind.
Okay. You both do so.
Can
he
I
immediately
also
makes his
check
way
the
up
other
towards-
door that's here?
Yeah, yeah. You checking this door, just kind of gently pressing on the mechanism again. This one does not appear to open. You can hear a very gangly sounding noise of a lock that's probably not that strong. Yeah, so that's that door.
Yeah, I'll just follow him up to the lounge then.
Okay, so you're heading up to the lounge as well?
Well, I'll follow along.
I'd stop Fenris and just point to the body. Let's have a look at this first.
Okay, well, if you think I can help.
Okay.
Yeah. You've seen a few dead bodies before? These won't be squeamish.
Well, yes, I've seen quite a few. Usually I'm the one that puts them there, so... Feels odd to be examining one that someone else has put down.
Then he might know how, and as well we'll look over the body.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll look over as well.
Okay, so I'll have a look at the body. Perfect. I will leave you two there for a moment. Gizmo, Al, what are you doing at this time as everybody's kind of shuffling upstairs?
Yeah, no, I would have shuffled along with the crowd. That shout of a military order, no better than to question it.
Okay. You just kind of find a spot and hunker down. It is very crowded now at this point. With everybody in here, all of the couches are taken. Gizmo, you might need to find a...
I'm not moving.
Al is sprawled out over the largest couch. Him and Humphrey. Taurus immediately gets up and moves to the side, allowing for someone to take a seat.
At least he's actually
that's what,
sharing the
just-
couch with Humphrey this time.
He's probably kicked Humphrey onto the floor at this point.
No, he's not.
Al, what are you up to other than
Um,
lounging?
curiously looking around the room, probably. I suppose if Gizmo was the first to enter, I'd turn to him when he came over and might even, shove Humphrey aside and offer Humphrey's seat to Gizmo. Just yeah, come on.
I mean,
sit.
I'll take the space so you can be made open, and I'm a big robot.
There's room for three on this. Gizmo's tiny, sorry, Humphrey is tiny. Gizmo, you're quite tiny as well. But
Don't go mention that too much, please. I'm trying to keep that on the down low.
sorry. Have you any idea what's happening?
Apparently, the ambassador's dead. I don't know. I haven't heard much more than that.
Oh. That's... Well, that's very sad and also disappointing. But
Yeah.
very sad.
Then Cashé
Ambassador...
Cashé shouted out
Say
something
again.
about it being a military order that we all come here.
Oh, yes, I heard something like that. Muffled through the door, but I was already in the lounge anyway, so figured I'd just stay put and wait for everyone else to come here.
I think it's too much to ask for another party atmosphere.
Well, I don't think it's the time, especially if someone's just died.
Yeah, that's true.
Reading the room and all that.
And yes, speaking of that, Al, with your
Yes.
passive insight,
Mm-hmm.
which is just ridiculous. A lot of your passive insights are ridiculous. You do get a sense of very nervous from a lot of individuals. You can't quite tell, is it the fact that somebody was murdered on the same airship as everyone, or was it Caché's orders? But there is definitely a very put your head down and shut up feeling from a lot of people.
Can I scope out anyone in particular? Anyone looking jumpy? Looking perhaps like to get the fuck out of here?
Go ahead and make either a perception or an insight check, whichever one you wish to make.
I think they're both the same. Yes, they are both the same. So. Yes, that's a natural 20 plus 7.
Okay. Because we don't have cameras, can you pop into secrets with me?
Yes, very good.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I forgot
Dun,
about that
dun.
negative side of having the cameras on is not being able to see.
Yeah, I know. I don't like it. It's one thing I miss the most because I really, really like going into secrets with people. Anyway, okay, I'll be back.
And I'm
Okay,
just there
so-
like, what's taking so long?
Having
I can imagine what the conversation's gonna be like in there. And it's just, ooh, do we know what happened? So, theories already?
Yeah. I'm letting whoever did it sweat in there.
Hmm. Although, can you really be sure that they're actually in there?
It was Revenant. It was definitely Revenant.
Yeah, because that guy getting loads of papers together is pretty suspicious and almost too suspicious.
Yeah, absolutely. I
So
still
Go
Yeah.
on, Miguel.
a little behind.
You're like a second behind. Hold on, say what you were gonna say?
Yeah, I still think. Oh, okay.
What were you gonna say there?
Alright. Or some of it not coming through.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of it kind of dropping in and out.
This paper guy.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Okay,
a little
how would
there.
I fix that?
Yeah. What's your like? Did you do a speed test to see what your internet's like?
Is that any better?
That's better.
Oh, it's
Yeah, I
that
can
one.
hear you there.
1 meg.
1 meg.
Can you hear me there?
That does seem a bit better, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wonder if you'd almost be better going
Oh.
off your 4G.
Okay.
Yeah, do 4G. Oh, you don't have Wi-Fi card though, do you? You have to use Ethernet. Is that right?
I have a thing. I have 5G actually. I might be better than that.
Yeah, try that out.
Yeah, if you're pretty close by,
Um,
do that. It would probably be better.
There's 5G in Ennis. Sure.
That's
Yeah,
great.
of course.
Because Ennis is a fantastic place. Just saying that it's a wonderful place to go. People should go there more often. Just in case this isn't included in the recording.
I assume we're doing a cut here.
For the shameless plug-in for, you know.
If we're going to do any shameless plug, I'll give a shameless plug for Architects. Opening for Biffy Clyro, Savage, buy their tickets. They're not sponsoring or anything like that. They don't even know who we are, but they're good. Listen to them. There's your shameless plug now.
We're just going to do a shameless plug of whatever t-shirts we're wearing.
Sure, why not? Be a trend.
I missed.
Plain t-shirt.
We're shamelessly plugging things.
Oh, you're gonna find us sponsors.
Oh, very good.
That'd be great.
God.
Thanks. What?
I was gonna say I just shamelessly plugging Architects. I'm just wearing their t-shirts from the gig.
Hey.
Go listen. Serious. The Savage.
I will. Right after this, I will. Okay, so you two are in the lounge. Al, that is what you're currently seeing and observing from the individuals. We will fade back over to Cashé and Fenris. As you enter the very small cabin, you see... Hang on, let's see if we can get a... Just so you guys can see what's going on. Yoink. You see the Redskin Dragonborn, Ambassador Gustav, laying face down on the floor. Appears to be a spilled wine glass in front of them. Are you guys checking out the body?
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay. Medicine
see-
checks.
Yeah, I wanna check and see if I can determine what happened in the room.
Okay, then you roll me an insight check on the room. Or investigation.
So I
Investigation.
got 23.
Let's say investigation.
I'll just keep changing it. Sorry. You got a 22 on medicine?
No, 23.
He is dead. He appears to be dead for a few hours. As you kind of get closer, and I'm assuming you're kind of maneuvering the body a little bit because medicine check to check for pulse and everything like that. The body does appear to be untouched. Yet, as you roll Ambassador Gustav over, you do notice that he seemed to have died clutching his throat, and his eyes are kind of bulging out of his head.
That's it, strangulation marks as if someone strangled him?
No strangulation marks, unfortunately. Which looks like he was...
Any bump in the throat or anything like that? That say that there's something inside his throat?
So with the 23, what I would say you do notice as you flip over the body and the head kind of moves to the side, again, there's that kind of look of the throat has closed up almost. But as the head moves to the side, you do notice that just between one of the scales, there appears to be a very small injection site.
Poison.
Okay, I have 23 on investigation.
Okay. Damn. 23 investigating the room, taking in what Cashé said. The room looks like it was a little bit rummaged through. You do find a discarded newspaper on the bed. It seems to be opened to a current article. The article reads, breaking news, robbery at the Golden Palace, followed by a very long passage kind of like detailing how the High Council of Ulster-Acadia had refused to comment on the recent event, likely not wanting to show their lack of security. However, their sources, this newspaper sources, say that a dangerous thief was caught trying to steal from the royal treasury and quickly was executed by the Archduke Lavrock of the Golden Helm. So that currently is sprawled out on the bed. And as you kind of move through the space, you do notice that there is kind of a small little chest that's at the edge of the bed. And it seems like someone has broken the lock and has rummaged through the clothing and other things inside.
So someone's rubbaged through everything?
Looks like someone's definitely a few things have been like moved slightly like off, like they shouldn't be, there. Looks like someone was definitely looking for something.
Okay. Do you have any idea what it could be, judging by the mess they make?
You definitely see a lot more movement and disruption in the chest.
Okay.
Yeah, I
I'll
might have to
have a
check a
poke.
few things too.
Yeah, I'll have a poke through the chest while I'm here to see if there's any indication of what it was hiding or carrying.
Okay. You kind of shift the part of the chest open so that you can look inside, and you do find, kind of tucked in some of the clothing, what looks to be a journal, and a ledger.
Okay, I'll have a look at both of those.
Okay. As you kind of pull these out, Cashé, you notice something odd as you're kind of knelt down looking over the body. Something seems to be moving ever so slightly underneath their tunic, Dragonborn's tunic.
Well, I'm definitely going to investigate that, but I'm going to be careful in case it's something that bites.
Okay. You gently lift up part of the tunic, kind of just being really, real careful, and immediately jumping out at you, about the size of the palm of your hand, is what appears to be a mechanical spider. You can actually hear the little cogs and wheels turning as it, and then starts to run off towards the door.
Can I try and catch it?
You can. Go ahead and make either... make a athletics or acrobatics check.
We'll definitely do acrobatics here. So that's 12 plus 10, 22.
Oh. It rolled a 21. So.
Yo!
Because this thing is small and it is fast. So how are you trying to catch it? Are you trying to smash it? Are you trying to, what are you trying to do?
Oh no, I'm literally kind of going to go on all fours, kind of like a panther pounce at it, and kind of scoop it up as I tumble, and like try to bring it up in my hand then.
And kind of bring it out, kind of almost like this, like a caged in your hand kind of thing?
If I want to kind of hold it from its back in case there's any type of stinger or anything like that.
Okay. Good you said that, because yes, immediately as you kind of pick it up from the back, I will actually show you. I think I put a photo in here. I did!
Oh.
That is what you catch.
Ooh.
Nice.
So as you pick it up and kind of hold it from that back mechanism that's kind of sticking out from the rest of the parts of the body, you do notice a stinger kind of jetting out towards you, but you can't reach you at the moment.
Very interesting. I believe there's a couple of clockwork experts on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious.
I'm assuming we're relaying everything we find to each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Does that stinger match the size of the hole you found on his neck?
Does it yet?
Looks pretty close.
Okay, so I think we've got a murder weapon.
Very well. And I'm gonna close my eyes and reopen them back to people's have gone to dragon slits. I'm gonna use detect magic.
Okay. Oddly enough, there is no magic in this cabin except for what is on you and your companion. Oh, well, okay, there's a little bit of arcane coming from the spider, but nothing else.
Okay. Nothing big. What does the ledger or the journal say? Every quick flick over them.
Yes. So I think this is great. So as soon as you open the journal, you realize that this personal journal is written in Draconic. So I do believe you speak Draconic.
Yep.
Okay. So as you are flipping through and kind of getting a sense of this, go ahead and make me an insight check. See how well you pick up on things.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You get the sense that this journal was written by someone who's being very careful about what they write. It's a lot of surface level feelings, emotions, nothing too personal or in depth. At the moment, there doesn't seem to be anything drastically done to the journal. Like, it just looks like it was looked through and then tossed aside. However, as you look at the ledger, you do see that it seems to be some kind of diary in the sense of keeping appointments and knowing kind of where you're going to be. This ambassador obviously is very, very busy, and as you're glancing through, you're like, holy shit, how did this person sleep? Because they're very, very busy. But as you are flipping through, it is very noticeable that there is a section towards the most recent that has been cleanly ripped, like not even cleanly, it's just been ripped out. Dates are from about 6 months ago, and it seems an entire week has been torn out.
Okay, so the ledger date is up to 6 months ago, and is it the most recent ones have been torn out, or the ones from 6 months ago have been torn out?
The one from 6 months ago.
Okay. And anything, can I discern anything from either side of the tear?
As you're looking at the dates beforehand, you see that there were quite a few meetings with the Merchant Masters Guild, which at the moment you wouldn't know too much about. You do see that quite a few dates talking about meeting with different individuals from that guild. And the last kind of entry from that side, you see that the ambassador had a trip to Austro-Acadia planned. And then that week has been torn out.
Okay, so whatever happened in Austro-Acadia, they wanted to stay in there. Okay, anything else inside the box?
Other than some very nice clothing and a sneaky bottle of fire whiskey, there is nothing else.
Okay. I'll take the fire whiskey, but can I just go along the sides of the box and see if there's any...
The dead man's whiskey.
That's evidence.
Uh-huh.
Can I just feel along and see if there's anything secret on the chest?
With your detect magic, there doesn't seem to be anything secret or strange about the chest. The chest actually doesn't look like it was brought by the ambassador. It looks like it is part of the ship. Like the ship just kind of leaves, storage units for their guests, especially in second class. So.
Okay, yeah. Anything under the bed or around the room?
Glancing under the bed, doesn't appear to be anything. It's quite dusty, but at the moment there's nothing really important under there. You do notice as well that the door is clean. There are no forced entry or marks or nicks, not even any kind of lockpicking nicks on the door either. It is clean.
Perhaps we should speak to some of our guests.
Well, yeah.
It's the only way to.
Good.
I think we should start with our clockwork experts. Even if it's not them, at least they might be able to shut this off.
Yes.
It is currently still like thrashing and twitching in your hand as well, Cashé.
I just think we should speak with our friend, who seems so very fond of all the papers.
Absolutely, as well. I think he's top of the list.
For now.
Exactly. Let's go.
As you move out, Cashé, as you turn around and go to face, you come face to face with Revenant, who has just been standing silently behind both of you.
Did you see anything?
Changes to your posture. No, I was asleep in the cargo bay. Sorry, Ricky. Trying to do your voice.
Okay. Insight check.
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
Oh, that's a 2 plus.
Players that aren't even here. Oh.
I know, right? Plus 7. That's 9.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
Hard to tell. With that mask and the fact that he is not moving a feather, there's no way to tell.
Okay, well, get into the lounge. We're going to talk to the others now.
Just gives you a nod and kind of maneuvers his way behind you to follow you out. So, like, let you take the lead, basically.
Cool.
And Cashé, as you turn, then again, all of you hear this as Captain Call comes like screaming around the corner. It's like, I just heard someone's dead.
The
Someone's
ambassador.
dead? Oh my god! And he just starts like cursing in a heap of different languages, and then just like, not on my ship. Who found him? Is he really dead?
Oh, quite dead. I'm sure he can see the vibrating spider on my hand. Just
Oh god! Oh, what is that?
the murder weapon.
Oh, I can't have this. They're gonna take my license for sure. This has never happened on my ship before. I will say that right now. I don't know what to do.
Well, first time for everything.
Your Air Colonel, what should we do?
Well, I've made everyone go into the lounge. I will be taking this as a formal military investigation, and we shall
See
find out
relief.
who did this.
You watch the relief on his face. Oh, thank the gods. Very good. Of course, my crew is at your disposal. If you have any questions, just ask us. We'll just keep the ship flying for now.
Please
Let us
do.
know. Okay, and you kind of see him shift over to some of his other crewmates, and they kind of start talking, and you see them all just kind of like, "What are you talking? What are we gonna do?" And they're just bickering amongst themselves.
Okay, I'll leave them to bickering and head to the lounge.
Okay.
Follow with. Just shut up the Cashé and say, you want to talk to the clockwork and I'll talk to our blue friend?
Perhaps we should take this together. I'd rather not be taken by surprise.
Of course. Just have to make sure that no one leaves.
Exactly, as we knock people out, we can get people for guard duty.
Captain did say that the crew is at our disposal.
Very true. Let's get this clockwork spider turned off first.
Okay. While you two were investigating the room, Al and Gizmo, is there anything else you wanted to do?
Trying to figure out how to make myself useful. I'm going to take out 2 items. I'm going to take out my alchemy jug that I've taken out before. I'm going to take out a kind of interesting looking lantern that has, again, kind of a similar wooden outer surface to it that has this kind of almost natural overgrown stone formation look to it, that has this like green wick in the center of it. And I'm going to use the alchemy jug to create a quart of oil and use that to fill up the lantern halfway.
Very nice. Okay.
And I'm just
You do
gonna
so.
Put the jug away, and I have the lantern down.
That is the Lantern of Reveal.
It is.
Cool. Okay. Very good. You have that. Al, as you're sitting there and you watch Gizmo do this next to you. You also notice that Belzal, the little half-orc child, is slowly scooting across the floor, and he sits right next to Humphrey, and him and Humphrey are just looking at each other, and Humphrey then flips out the knife and
Humphrey,
shows
no,
him...
put that away. Go on, Humphrey. Thank you, yes. When you get better with it.
Oh.
I'm sure you'll be great one day, don't worry. We'll make sure of it.
He feels like you're gaslighting him, but he accepts the compliment. But two of you then see Cashé, Fenris, and Revenant all make their way into the lounge.
Sorry for the wait, guys.
Oh, you're back.
The investigation is well underway. I will make sure we find out who did this, so we can be safe for the rest of our journey. I will need to call people out one by one to ask a few questions. Don't worry, if you've done nothing wrong, you need not fear.
A few audible, frustrated sighs from a few people. Not from many, but...
Anyone react? Anyone react kind of weirdly to that?
Inside check in the room.
Yeah, go ahead. Both of you, if you want to make insight checks. Anybody.
Well, that's a natural one. So 8.
You have a lot you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You're still holding the little clockwork spout. Actually, I should say that as you come up and you're holding that, you are right next to the tabaxi, and they immediately are like, and they're like leaning away from you as you're just holding this thing that's like...
I'm totally nonchalant about the spider now.
Yeah.
I have a natural 19 plus 5, so 24.
24. Anybody else? Or just you two?
I don't think I do.
He was inside the room.
No, I'd be, probably making sure Humphrey doesn't stab the child.
Good call. No, okay, so with your, Cashé, you are quite distracted, trying to make sure the spider isn't gonna, jump out of your hand. It is actually relatively strong for how small it is. You can really feel it trying to escape your grasp. Fenris, in terms of anyone acting weird, what you get the sense of is more frustration, more, are we really doing this? Like, you kind of get that vibe off of a few people, but not weird. No one stands out.
Not so much as anyone getting nervous or kind of shifty.
In terms of nervousness, with that roll, yes, you would notice that there is a individual who is very, very nervous. Currently, it is the human man with the kind of white hair that was part of the couple that was up on the upper deck with you guys the night before, sitting next to his wife. He did not look up when Cashé came in, and he is currently looking at his feet and doing the whole like shaky leg, nervous tick. So is this...
Okay, so him, blue hair, not looking nervous at all.
Nope. Sat back, leg crossed, looks bored.
I'm gonna have fun with you later.
I will turn to Gizmo. I think we will start at this side of the room. If two of you would like to come upstairs with me, or downstairs,
Oh, what's that you've got there? That looks
we
good.
shall discuss it outside.
Oh, okay. I'll pick up the lantern and follow along.
I will also scoot myself along.
Okay. Alright.
Okay. And is the crew nearby?
Currently, no. You would have seen most of them are currently either making their way up to up to the upper deck, or they're staying in the mess hall.
Okay. Once we leave, if we're going down to the mess hall, I get some of the crew to go up and make sure that no one leaves.
Yeah, no problem. As you come down and you kind of step aside to some of the crew, the halfling individual who's kind of got her blonde hair tucked up in a bandana, she's like, "Yeah, I'll give him a watch for you," and she like stomps her way up the stairs and.
Also,
gonna go watch
my detect magic is probably still up. So, did I notice anything in the room?
So, yeah. Sorry, excuse me. You would notice magic definitely coming from your party members or your companions. There is arcane magic coming from the Clock Forge, the other one that's not Gizmo. The warrior has a tremendous amount of magic. Their armor, their weapon, everything is magic. And
Okay.
other than that, nothing else pings. Okay, so you guys make your way out, and the 4 of you are currently together. What would you like to do?
I can't seem to get down to the mess hall from here.
That's okay. We know we don't need to constantly be moving around the ship. We're more just role playing.
okay.
So with this spider in my hand, this recognizable to anyone?
Have I seen
Would you
anything
like
it?
Shall we both have a look?
That's not true, Gizmo.
Hmm?
You have seen something like this before. As
Oh,
you
that's
get
a
closer.
master. Have I seen something?
Oh, sorry. I thought you said I haven't seen that before.
No.
Sorry. Yes, you do recognize this kind of work. This would be quite simple to make, actually. You'd have to get a closer look to, really see it. But you've seen things like this before.
I've seen things like it. It's actually not that difficult to make one.
Can you turn it off?
Have a look. Can I just have a look over while it's in his hand and see if there's like less an off switch but more like a critical part of the mechanism where if like that part is damaged or taken out, it'll stop working.
I would say easily done. I'm going to use your passive investigation because it is crazy high. So you successfully take it away from Cashé, kind of holding on to the back part of it. And again, its legs kind of can't bend backwards to you, can only bend forward, so it can't seem to get away from you. It's expertly crafted, even though these aren't too hard to make. That you can see the love and passion that went into making this little creature. Even the smallest of parts have just been expertly taken care of, perfectly placed. You can see the gears and springs are well oiled, well cared for, and you do find the stinger that leads in deeper into what appears to be the body, kind of the part that you're holding. But as you kind of turn it upside down and you're looking at it, it appears that the whatever containment inside is actually gone, is empty. Okay. But it does look oddly familiar, and as you're kind of looking underneath at the bottom edge of the spider, you see 2 initials carved into the underbelly. MC.
M or N?
M as in Mary, and
Okay.
C as in carrot. No, that's okay. Cat.
That doesn't ring a bell. I haven't seen any MC workshops around the place.
Not your time at. Go ahead and make me a history check, actually.
this being spoken aloud, or?
Gizmo,
21.
21.
Not
Cashé,
yet.
you haven't Cashé, you haven't seen any shops, but I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago, there was a really well-known inventor who went by the name. Bear with me. I wish I could just remember the name. There was a well-known inventor who was working in Manira for a time, but left quite suddenly. Matthias. And they did a lot of work, but they caused a lot of tension in the community in Manira. That is the only M that you can remember, but you don't really know surnames of a lot of the inventors.
I'll kind of whisper that out loud, but not realizing I'm saying it out loud. Just in case anyone picks up from that.
So you say Matthias out loud?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar? I mean, I'm kind of trying to have a look in, but really, I can see the other two are having a great time. Just gonna leave them at it.
Al, I'd say the work that you did during the war and the creations that you made during that time, they weren't as small and sophisticated as this. You worked a lot more on actual clock forges themselves. So you also know no inventors from Manira because you weren't on the Avasha Isles, so.
I'll pop up and say, I will say that the handiwork looks kind of familiar. If I can work on it for some time, I might be able to find out more.
I want to know before I trust you to do this. Where were you last night?
My room?
I need to take everyone off the list.
I was working on my project. I think on my own for some time, but there was the student, the kid.
You were quite alone all the time. I was also in that room.
Tenzin.
Okay.
Right. I think you came in after me, but yes, Fenris would have seen me in there as well.
If that's the case, see what you can do. If you have any help, we'd be much appreciated.
It'll probably take me a little bit of time.
Take what you need.
Okay. I'm gonna take the spider and move off to the side, and if I could do maybe a Tinker's Tools checks just to just see if there's anything that I really recognize about it.
Go ahead. I believe it is D20 with double your proficiency.
Do we add a ability score?
Are you just kind of looking it over, or are you actually trying to disable it at this point?
I thought it was disabled.
I'd say this will disable it.
Okay.
I think we just had you looking at it last time. So I'd say this as you spend a little bit of time with it, you can disable it and also just check everything out, like a real in depth.
Okay, perfect. So is it just my
So I would add your intelligence.
Okay.
Intelligence to this, yeah.
Okay, so that is double resilience. 29.
29. Whoo! So you kind of shuffle over to a space. Are you going anywhere in particular? Are you staying in the line of sight, or are
I'm
you
staying
headed
in
off
line of
to a
sight,
cabin?
yeah. I
Cool.
don't want to
Okay, so
make
you
myself
kinda-
seem more suspicious or anything.
Yeah. So you kind of find an area where you can kind of they can see you easily working, and you take out your tools and you begin to work. And it is like a well-oiled machine, and I mean that in a because you are technically a machine. You easily disable this thing. You find a pressure point inside where you can kind of nick the tiny little core that is giving it its power to all of its limbs, and it just immediately, and the legs go limp against you, and it just completely powers down. With the roll, you don't completely like destroy it. It is you can turn it back on if you want, and you have another look over this beautifully crafted little assassin. The closer you look at it, it is built to be silent. It is built to be able to squeeze into the smallest of spaces. It is the perfect killing machine. You would also know that these kinds of things usually have a owner.
As in,
Whatever it is,
someone
whoever-
controlling it.
Whoever it is programmed to, it will listen to.
Are you sharing this with us?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will say that it someone given this a command, it would follow whoever owns it.
Hmm. Might come in handy later.
Yeah, I think I can reactivate it again. I'm not sure though if activating it is what. Do I feel like if I was to work on it that I could get it to shift commander or owner?
Oh, definitely. You know from working with these, you haven't necessarily worked with this type of machine before, but things very similar to it. You know that you could. It would take a little bit of time, but you could definitely reprogram it if you wanted.
Yeah, I can reprogram it.
But is it not better if we leave it with its current owner? And perhaps the strategy is to get people to command this thing to do something? And whoever it moves for, is that not our murder? If you could disarm it for a while.
But you can give it any kind of command, so once it's shot out its target, it needn't come back. It is empty.
Is there a way you can? Is there a way you can get it to perhaps seek out its owner?
Is that something I think I could do?
Amber,
Yes.
I know you gave me a spell in my grimoire, arcane hacking,
I did indeed.
which is kind of something that is meant for something else, but would that by any chance be able to be used?
Pull the spell one more time.
See, it's from, what is it, Acquisitions Incorporated or something, so it's kind of, it says something about online security. Like clockwork hack.
Okay, yeah. So basically, if you wanted to use this, what I would say is you would then be making a hacking check at advantage to see if you can break through the command that has been given, and then you could try to gain control of it for the next hour.
I don't necessarily have hacking tools.
Oh no, I understand. It would probably be more like a tinker's tool. I'd have it be like a tinker's tool, and it would be based on your intelligence.
Oh. I would probably need to think on it a bit again, but maybe I could potentially get this to return to its owner, scurry home like a little dog, as it were.
If you need a specific set of tools, give me an hour and I can craft them for you.
I do, but see, for some reason when I was dreaming this, in my meditations, thought it might be fun to learn about alchemy, and so well, I find myself more able to use alchemy at the moment than tinkering as such. Especially considering I thought, well, I was on board with such a grand tinker as yourself. Tinkerer.
Well then, I'm sure you could lead him through it.
If you've got this skill in alchemy somehow, maybe you want to take a look at this. It's disabled now. See if you can get any traces of the poison. Might be able to find out more information from it.
Before I do so, though, where were you last night?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Me, yes, sorry. I was talking to our friend Revenant for quite a large portion of the night. Sat on the very couch you found me on when you went to the lounge. Stayed there as well. Meditated for a while. I don't require sleep, so I didn't move. I don't think I
And
saw
anyone there to cooperate?
I believe there was another clock forged sat across from me as well. And, well, Revenant I went into, but left after quite a while, but was there until the small hours in the morning with me.
Look over at Revenant. Or assume it's still following.
Yeah, Revenant is still kind of lurking behind all of you, yes. And he just nods.
Okay, if you think you can do it, we should give it a shot.
Me and no disrespect either. Can anyone corroborate your story?
Mine? The 3 people in the room with me.
Just wanted to check.
Can I... Is Insight... Or is Cashé hiding anything? I was going to say.
Okay, so you want to see if Cashé is lying?
Yeah. I lied.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Insight check. Cashé, you roll whatever side. Just roll a d20 and let me know which one you are doing.
I got a natural 1 for an 8, so no.
Oh! Very hard to read. And it's weird. As you stare at Cashé for a moment, no facial features move. For a second or two. Until comes back. You had a lot to drink last night. This must be the heck of a hangover.
A bit dazed, I have to say.
Amber, can I ask just what's the layout of the room we're in? Which room is it?
Oh, sorry.
Mess hall?
Currently, you guys
We're in the mess hall, aren't we?
are lore-wise, you're in the mess hall. So here, I'll pull you all down there if you want.
Is that mid-central hall?
I'm assuming you're leaving Humphrey up with the child.
Yes. I will also telepathically communicate to him and tell him, I hope everything's going alright. I hope that you're not playing with knives again.
Can I use... sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
Oh, can I use Druidcraft? Sorry, excuse me. To light a small little flame at the end of my finger to light the wick on the lantern of revealing.
You can indeed.
And then I'm just going to kind of set that up in one of the corners, kind of a bit higher, so that it's shining into the room as 60 foot of light, so should be able to get most of the room. I think maybe the engine, the crystal core might block it, but should get the majority of the room.
You get the majority of the room. Perfect. Okay, and that reveals hidden things, right?
Does it do exactly again? Where did I put it? Lantern of revealing. While this sort of lantern burns for 6 hours on 1 pint of oil, I've half-filled it so it should burn for 3 hours, shedding bright light in 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they're in the lantern's bright light. They can be reduced to 5 feet as well.
Perfect.
So
okay.
yeah, within
I will
30
keep
feet
that.
being invisible is revealed.
Yeah. Excuse me. 30 feet.
Just to keep an eye out for anybody that might be using Arcane means to sneak around.
That's very helpful.
Very
By the
clever,
way,
disappear.
I'll hold up the journal.
Mhm.
Who's good at reading?
What language?
Draconic.
I can read that.
Take me a while, but I could get it.
More that this is written extremely carefully, as if he's trying not to give anything away.
You feel
So
like
I'm
there's a
just going
hidden
to
message or
wonder-
something in it?
Yes, I'm wondering if proper cipher was at it, then we might be able to get more information.
I like
Politicians
puzzles
always love,
and codes and things.
always
I'll
like to
have a look.
hide things. Of course, I'll hand it over to him. Politicians always like to hide things.
I'll look through it. Can I figure out if it's a case that there is just like a code to it where it's just like letters swapped around, or is it something that does need a cipher in order to solve it?
Okay. So you're reading through it and just spending a bit of time looking through that?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I'll use your passive investigation because you're just meant to do these things. At the moment, oddly enough, as you sit down and look through this journal, it actually just looks like someone's just being really careful. Doesn't seem to be a code, doesn't seem to be a cipher. It's almost like this individual is just hiding their true feelings because they know they're being watched.
I assume you've already used some form of arcane means to see if there's anything hidden here.
Yes. Well, no magic on it at all.
Not at all. I think he was just a
Your
particularly
lantern.
cautious individual. There doesn't seem to be anything I can pick up from this.
Your lantern show anything?
If anything walks into the light, we'd see it.
Well, worth a shot.
I'll hold the journal up to the bright light though to see if there is anything.
Holding it up to the light, nothing reveals itself.
Yeah, it was a good guess.
So I'd say with a few of those checks, it would have taken just a little bit of time to kind of go through those things. Are you waiting for Gizmo to finish through, kind of reading through the book and looking at the spider, or are you chatting with anybody? What are the rest of you doing, basically?
I'm going to start making myself a drink to try and cure this hangover.
Okay, you go back behind the counter and start making yourself a drink. Go ahead and make me
Good.
a dexterity check. How well can you make this?
Seriously, this is not
Priorities.
well.
Priorities.
I just look at him. I think a
In
banana
good
would suit you
hands.
better.
Dexterity.
I'm gonna
Oh,
mention to Cashé and ask if he wants to head up and start asking questions.
A 9.
A 9.
Hmm.
All right, you feel pretty confident. You go behind the counter, you grab a few bottles, you start spinning them, you start twitching. Breaks one of the bottles.
Try something a little bit more simple. Less of a flourish this time.
You try again.
Yes,
So,
but
Gizmo-
with less of a flourish.
With less of a flourish. Okay, takes you a little bit longer. Good, like 7.5 minutes. But you make a decent foamy cocktail.
Wonder if he has the drinking problem from airplane.
So, who
I think,
are you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I think we should be speaking to our blue-haired friend first. He's the one that
Yeah.
found.
Yes, he's looking very cocky. I'm looking forward to wiping the grin off his face. But also, the white-haired fellow who was unfortunately attacked yesterday is acting quite nervous. Now, it
Us?
could be just because he was attacked yesterday and now someone else has been murdered. But he wouldn't even look at you when you came in.
Interesting. 1 second, I am really lagging. I'm just going to disconnect or reconnect.
Let's take a break here, and you guys can let me know who you're talking to first, and we will start in with that. as we fade back in, if everybody's ready.
Yes.
Obvious is going.
Okay.
Yo.
As we fade back in, coming back into the scene, who would you like to interview first?
Didn't we say blue first?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. We can head up
Sure.
and talk to blue then.
Okay. Are you heading up to talk to him in front of everybody, or are you bringing him down?
No, we're gonna talk to him and tell him to bring down you first.
Okay. Yeah. So, Fenris, you head up. Revenant accompanies you. And you basically kind of bring him down, shimmy him into the area here.
Oh, I want to talk to him first. Is he coming willingly, or is he going to be a bitch about
He
it?
sits for a moment and he kind of rolls his eyes as you approach. What do you say to him?
That fellow wants to talk to you first.
I figured. Fine, where am I going? Is this gonna take long?
I was going to reach out and grab his ear and pull him with me.
You can grab his ear.
Yeah.
Jesus, alright. Easily done, because he's not expecting it. You just grab him by the ear and pull him forward.
Let's go.
It's ow, ow, ah, ah, as you pull him along. Rest of the passengers go real quiet.
I'll bring him down and kind of push him over to the bar stool so we can all crowd around him.
It was very rough and unnecessary. And looks over to you, Cashé. This is all quite ridiculous, I hope you understand. Separating us like this, a show of force, no doubt. Typical from the military.
Someone has died. Do you not take that seriously?
I do, but I don't like this
Yeah.
show of force.
Attitude.
You like a drink?
And be cooperative.
I would actually love one, thank you.
Great.
See, he knows hospitality. You could learn a few things.
Not in my training.
Yes, all that you're trained to do is shoot first and ask questions later.
What am I doing now?
Wasting my time.
You found a dead body, and you think I'm wasting your time.
I didn't find it. It was that Sanmei, I think their name is.
I saw you speaking to him yesterday.
Yes, I spoke to him. I did not find his body, if that's what you're insinuating.
He also said that he would get his in a very threatening manner. You were arguing with him.
Yes, and what of it?
Tell us what happened in Austria-Arcadia.
You're going to probably have to be a bit more specific.
Inside check that.
Okay, insight check.
Uh, 17.
17, okay. He kind of looks at you a little bit like, what? What are you asking? Kind of like, he's not actually following kind of what you're insinuating about what happened in Austria-Arcadia.
There's some pages missing from his ledger, detailing a trip to Austria-Arcadia.
And why would I have anything to do with that? Do you know who I am? I am a prominent member of the Merchant Masters Guild. I sit on the Board of Trade.
All the papers you're stocking into your pockets. What were they? And why are you
Yes,
doing it
they
so
are
fast?
Information about my job. I regulate the distribution of goods throughout Manira and the surrounding towns. You don't honestly think that I would kill the ambassador?
You'd have motivation.
I didn't like the man, but not enough to kill him.
I'm going to hand him a drink.
He immediately takes it.
And can you prove that?
Prove what? That I didn't kill him?
Yeah, what were you doing last night?
Kind of shifts a little bit and fixes his robes. I was preoccupied last night.
Doing?
Gods. Do I have to spell everything out for you? I had a visitor in my cabin.
Dude,
And
that
they,
sounds very juicy. By any chance, would it by any chance be the handsome man, blonde hair?
You are quite observant, aren't you?
Oh, I pick up on these things. I love romance, you see.
Yes, Dawson is a sweet man. A bit too sweet for that sour wife of his. I have no shame in it. We spent a rather passionate evening together. I'm surprised we didn't keep all of you awake.
Oh, don't worry.
and to corroborate the story,
Quarter.
We'll definitely be planning to ask him later.
Oh, do. And ask him in front of his sour little wife. I'd love to see her get all upset.
We'd like to ask him when he's alive.
Yes, I don't think we want another altercation like that.
You guys are no fun.
Does he still have his satchel full of his information?
He's currently one arm on it.
I would suggest that you hand us over that bag, and as I do so, I cast suggestion.
Okay. What wisdom save?
It is a wisdom save 16.
Ivolo has nothing to wisdom. And he rolled a natural 19.
I
Ooh.
would like to use my chronal shift.
One moment.
Oh, sorry.
While you say that, he kind of goes a little slack. His eyes kind of really fixate on Cashé for a moment, and he kind of pulls away. I believe suggestion they know when they've been manipulated.
Uh,
I'm not sure.
Sorry, I
After,
didn't
well,
be
like,
here
as in
somewhere.
after if it fails, I think so, yeah. But can I use my chronal shift to make him re-roll his abilities check?
I think this is a saving throw. Does that Count on
so chronal shift,
saving throws?
an attack roll, an ability check, or a saving throw.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to use it.
Nice.
I would like to use that, so and just kind of like
Okay.
Take two.
my head sideways.
All right. So you rolled a 12 now.
Yay!
All right, so he has that moment where he pulls away from you, and then it seems to shift again, and he is back staring at you, and he just immediately hands over the papers.
Perfect. I open the bag and have a look.
Okay. Glancing through the paperwork, it is written in a dialect of Common that is native to Austroacadia. And also, then there are snippets of more modernized Common that is used in Manira. So this individual, basically what I'm getting at is that this individual travels quite a lot. So they've kind of used the lingo on both sides. As you are glancing around, go ahead and make an investigation check for me, Cashé.
Okay.
10?
Can I help him with that?
Help
I'm
her.
next to him. Help her with that when I'm next to him.
If you are looking through the papers, Cashé, are you sharing the papers with anyone, or are you looking at them by yourself? I think we've lost.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Try again there.
Hello? Can you
There
hear me?
we are.
There we go.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, sorry, what was the question?
Are you sharing the paperwork, like
Oh,
Fenris
yes,
might
I
look
am.
over your shoulder? Okay. All right. So yeah, you can roll with advantage then.
Oh, awesome. 19.
19. Okay. As you are going through the paperwork, none of it, neither of you see that it has been ripped out of anything. These look like clean, solid notes, papers. You see a lot of shipment notices signed off. You can see his signature at the bottom. It seems to corroborate that he is indeed in part the distribution of goods. And it seems to just be regular paperwork that he might have been looking through in the morning. Nothing seems to stand out.
Interesting.
What exactly
I'll hold on
do
to
you
this.
think you were going to find? We are allowed to have disagreements with people.
They usually don't get murdered the next day.
Oh, that's unfortunate circumstances. But he was getting in the way of important things.
And is that why you killed him?
No, I needed him. He was the only thing keeping me from seeing the conclave. Look, a couple months ago, important shipments started to go missing. They'd leave our warehouses, head northeast towards Carnival Row, and then vanish. I'm almost certain it was those Pix freaks, or any of the other numerous rebel factions that are plaguing our city that I believe you people are supposed to be protecting us from. And the Conclave continues to turn a blind eye, so I got heated because my job is on the line. Does that help?
Was this important to anyone else on board?
The shipments? I don't know anybody else here who's from the guild.
May not have been with shipments, but it could have been with something else he was doing. Do you know what he was doing in Austro-Arcadia?
No, why would I know? I mean, he is the ambassador, so I'm assuming he's creating relations with Austro-Arcadia.
Well, something happened in there. Whoever it was tore all of the pages out. Obviously trying to hide something. Why was he stonewalling you?
He didn't think the shipments were that important. He has bigger problems, he said.
What kind of problems?
How would I know? He's way above my pay grade. But the Conclave continues to just allow Fey folk to rummage around in our city. I know it's them.
How do you know it's them? Do you have collected enough evidence?
I don't have to answer to you. It's part of the guild. If you really want to know more about it, go talk to them.
I'm asking you.
No, I haven't gathered enough information, but it's clearly done through the guild. We know it is. I personally don't go out and gather it. Are we done here?
For now.
Can I insight check him again to see if he's actually agitated or is he hiding something else?
Okay, since you've already insight checked him, I'll let it carry over.
Okay, that was
He's
my
getting irritated at you now. This
Okay.
is very clear. Yeah.
Wonder if I can irritate him some more. No, I can't think of anything.
Stare at him for a little bit.
Alright. I'll just turn to Cashé. See, I told you he was useless.
Bring him back to the lounge and get his friend.
Very well. Both of them or just him?
Just him. I'm not going to start another war.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's still going to look very suspicious, but it still makes sense.
Okay, so you walk Ivolo back up and bring Dorson down, the individual with the...
Do I have to grab him by the ear again, or is he walking up by himself?
He is not looking at you as you approach, but if you go up to him, he will...
Oh, no, I meant Blue. If I have to grab Blue by the ear again.
If you go anywhere near him, he will immediately throw his arm back away from you, and he will walk himself.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, so... The other guy then, I'll just basically walk up until he can very obviously see my feet in front of him.
Okay, he's still looking down.
I'll crouch down and kind of... don't know if I can meet his eye line.
I mean, when your feet come forward, he kind of looks up, not at you, but kind of looks up to acknowledge that you were there. So, you can bring him down if you wish.
Your turn.
Okay.
I hope I don't have to be rough with you as well.
No, I'll come. And he immediately follows you.
Yeah, I'll let him walk first, because I don't want anyone behind me.
Okay, yep. So, he goes down. You all see the pale hair kind of pulled back into a really messy ponytail. Cybernetics kind of fixate on parts of his face, on his eye, giving him like one blue eye and one really bright green eye.
That sounds familiar.
Mm-hmm. So he comes down and he's just kind of, he doesn't meet any of your gazes. He just immediately goes over to the chair and sits.
I'll pour him a drink.
I've already, begun mixing a drink for him,
okay.
as he walks in.
He very
I'm sitting there
gingerly
with
takes
arms
it and
crossed.
just kind of holds it in his hand. I'm afraid I don't know anything. I was in my cabin all night.
Is that where you were? You wouldn't want to lie to an officer.
We've heard you've had a bit of fun last night.
He looks like he is about to either just faint or or just give up. You don't even need to roll insight checks. This man is crippled with fear and anxiety, and he just kind of says, I don't know what any of you are talking about. I was in Falcon cabin all night. My wife and I really emphasizes wife, and our jewelers from Manira, and we were just on our anniversary trip to Ulster Arcadia.
Look, it really doesn't matter to us about the whole wife or Ivolo or, we're just asking questions about something completely unrelated. But we need to know that you're telling the truth about the rest of it.
Kind of looks to you all. Very well. Yes. I wasn't in my cabin last night. I was visiting Ivolo. In his cabin. Second class.
You stayed there all night?
Not all night, no. I had to wait till Eva went to sleep. Look, you're not going to tell her, right?
No, it's not our intention to blow things up right now, but perhaps you should think in your choices.
Are you sure she was in her room the whole night?
Well, she sleeps less than I do, so I only knew I had a few hours. She's an elf, so I didn't get a full night's sleep. But she was still in her trance when I came back.
Oh, that was heard to Cashé. Well, Blue didn't last very long, did he?
No, it still gives him
I
time.
mean, 4 hours is still cut. Okay, anyway.
Well, if he had only a short window, and that's a good. Can she interrupt that trance?
Can she interrupt that trance?
Can she come out of it when she wants?
I mean, I've seen her do it before, yes, but that's when she's woken.
Does she have any knowledge of clockwork?
No, neither of us really got into that trade. We are more interested in jewelry, rings and bracelets, and we
What
do a lot
about
with
that
the
fine
mines.
piece on your eye?
Oh, that was an unfortunate run-in I had in our workshop. I didn't do this. I had it done. It's actually quite nice. My eye now can zoom in on the tiniest of jewels while I'm making my jewelry. It's
That
quite lovely.
does
He
look
like brings
very
the cocktail.
useful and quite dashing as well.
Thank you.
And who made that?
The implant.
Yes.
I got it done from a doctor. Specialist in the city.
Do you have his name?
Asking questions I'm not prepared for. Give me one moment. Sorry, 1 second. Yes. He's what was his name? Belroy. That was his name. Yes. He small practice in the city. I don't know if he's still there, but he did quite a good job, to say.
Absolutely. Does anyone else have any other questions?
Can I go? No offense, but you're all quite terrifying.
I'll take that as a compliment. You may go.
Thank you. And just leaves, unfortunately, half of the cocktail and just runs back upstairs.
Shame to waste it.
Who next?
Who next do we think is suspicious?
I'm wondering actually, is there any reason that we're not asking about the initials that we found carved on the spider?
Rather ask someone who knows something about clockwork.
I suppose. I mean, maybe we should.
That's why I asked about where his eye was made.
Well, yes. I was thinking the same.
Shall we have the Weiss next?
I suppose. Might make it look less suspicious. For him.
Agreed.
Yes, I shall fetch her too.
There's something useful that I might be able to check on. Can you just take this for a moment? And I hand it over to the disabled spider. I've more tools left in the room. I'm just gonna go grab something that'll help out.
Perfect.
I'll be back in just a moment. And yeah, I want to head over to my room.
Okay.
And I'll look to where my supplies are, and I'm gonna have a look for that package that I was delivering.
Okay.
Is it there?
It is.
Is it like still wrapped?
Yes. Unless you've opened it, which I
I
don't think you have.
I wouldn't have.
No. It is still wrapped.
Can't be you. I'm gonna open the package.
Okay.
But I want to try and open it in a way where I feel like I could possibly see it close again.
Okay.
Like dexterous giant fingers.
So if you're,
very dexterous.
yeah, they are. They're actually very dexterous. Okay, so if you're doing kind of like finesse kind of work, with this, I will have you roll a acrobatics,
Sleight of hand.
sleight of hand, dexterity save. Now sleight of hand. We'll go sleight of hand.
Constitution.
Constitution save.
Can I use
This work is so special.
keys tools
Death
at all
roll,
to help
though.
me out with this?
Oh, if you're using a tool set, I'd say yeah, no, because you can use kind of like the small things to like get in and around the package. Definitely, yeah.
Awesome. I will use those. Oh, I've lost the dice. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. Natural 20.
I really wish I could. Oh, I really wish I could see Miguel's face though right now.
That would be for a total of a lot. With dexterity, I think it's 27. 28.
I mean, it's a natural 20. So,
Yeah.
you go into your cabin. You sit down in the center, but with your back like to the door, so you can kind of hunch over this thing, and you just, as quickly as you worked on the spider, just whoop, 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 just have the ease of opening. It appears like this little kind of wooden box, about this size or so, kind of like a shoebox, is what you were given to collect, and it has been wrapped in kind of like a brown kind of paper just to keep it safe. So you are able to unseal that, put it off to the side, and you now just have this wooden box that is sitting in front of you.
Okay.
Beautiful designs on it.
Does it look like it's like locked anyway, or is it just?
It has 2 latches. Kind of looks like a jewelry box almost, of some kind.
Unlatched.
I will say though, with your just general knowledge, did I say wood? Because it's actually not wood. I'm so sorry. I did say. I go, whoops. It seems to be made out of a lead. But oddly enough, it's really light.
I'm more apprehensive now that I know it's out of lead. Okay. I'm gonna open the box.
Okay. Dexterity set. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh god.
It goes down in flames.
I was gonna say, boom.
Well,
Okay.
ship is out crashing.
So, you slowly kind of find the edges. You flick open the clasps and reveal the contents inside. When you first open it, your heart is just racing at this point, looking inside. And you almost feel a little disheartened when you see that everything's just like covered in a white cloth. And kind of start slowly unfolding it back. And you find a few different items in this box. Quite a lot of just general, very, very well-made mechanisms. You can see tiny little springs, gears, other kind of tools that you are familiar that this person uses on a regular basis. Possibly used out of a certain metal that is mined in Austro-Acadia, and you would know this because it is, for its fine, really fine properties, it's very easy to manipulate and work with. So they're ordered to bring over, and they use this a lot. While you're also going through, you do find a few stacks of information, just kind of like ledgers, bits of knowledge that is happening over in Austro-Acadia. And you do find 4 glass vials that have a very bright, almost fuchsia color inside. Was that your version of this, Mark?
Okay.
On the paperwork, I would say, it is written in Elvish.
I read that.
Okay. And some of it is written in Sylvan. There's 2 different languages, which I do believe you both read. A lot of the talk is almost gibberish sounding, and you realize, okay, yeah, this is a code. This is some kind of like code-esque kind of thing. Because it's just jointed how it's written, but you do pick up on a few key phrases. You find the words, hang on, sorry. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. Lerolite, spelt Lerolite. You also see bits of information discussing Archduke Larvark and the Golden Helm.
Archduke Larvark.
Larvark. And lastly, the last word that you come across is Avasha Isles.
Avasha Isles.
Avasha Isles. And it seems a lot of these pages are almost signed with that name.
Do any of these words ring a bell?
Ooh, go ahead and make a nature or medicine check for me.
That's 16 for nature.
Okay, all right, that's decent. For nature, Lerolite, you actually recognize the name. It comes from the Lero flower, used mainly as a paralytic in very concentrated doses. It can lead to lung and heart failure. Quite a common flower in the Empire. And as you are kind of looking over these fuchsia little vials, you actually notice that one of the top isn't fully corked in properly and waxed. It's kind of dripping out the side. And as you pull away, you realize that it has stained the tip of your mechanical finger. Kind of a dark purple shade that's kind of eating a slight bit into the metal and then stops.
Okay. Can I cast Identify on one of the vials?
You can indeed. Yep. Are you casting it or are you doing a ritual?
I'll just straight up cast it.
Okay. Identify is magic, right? No. It's just anything.
So, you choose one object that you must touch throughout the casting of the spell. If it is a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them. That's it.
Okay. As you cast this spell, you do not get any magical properties. in terms of arcane. Yeah, no, I'd say nothing that flashes kind of to life for you when it comes to the glass vials. However, some of those small mechanical items, as you kind of dig further in, you find teeny tiny little cores, like little power cores that go into small objects that are arcane. You recognize those? They're like Ethereum batteries, but like really shrunk down.
It doesn't look like this is more complicated than what was found in like the clockwork spider. This would be for something a bit more powerful.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Possibly a little bit bigger. Or something faster. I just want to see Miguel's face right now.
For anybody listening, Miguel revealed his face for a moment. Okay.
And he was
Okay.
glaring.
Look at us all shifty-eyed.
I know I need to get back, so I'm going to put everything into the bag of holding.
Okay. Do so.
I'm gonna make my way back to the group here.
Okay. While Gizmo was away, what were the rest of you doing?
I think I went up to fetch the wife.
You went to fetch the wife. Okay, so she kind of looks a bit bored as well. You can see that she's kind of got a curl on the side of her face, and she's just looking down at you a bit as she stands, and she is shorter than you, so she just kind of has that looking
Down her
you
nose.
up and down.
Yeah, I'll just escort him back to the seat. When he sits down, I'll just turn to her and say, "Well, madame, we now request the pleasure of your company."
Very well. And she follows you down.
Okay.
I don't really know what you're expecting to learn from me. I was asleep. Or meditating, if you really want to know. So what is this all about?
You were there the whole night.
Yes, I was in my cabin with my husband the whole night. Is that a cocktail? Oh, you're such a dear.
For you, madame.
Pinky out. Oh, it's a bit sour. Do you mind putting a bit of punch in that?
No problem. I tend to be fond of the bitters myself.
Give me sweet any day.
Can I get a vibe on her?
Go on, you can vibe check her.
She's a bit harder to read than her husband. That's 12.
I mean, the man was vibrating with freaking anxiety, so I didn't even have you guys roll. Like you just knew.
Yeah, he was powering the ship.
Yeah. What'd you get?
12.
Okay. Seems a bit of a snob.
You say you were meditating and it doesn't take as long to sleep.
No, so I was reading the rest of the time.
And your husband there the whole time.
Of course he was. Where would he go? There's nowhere to go on this ship.
Quite limited.
If I tell her.
They don't even have a night bar. I was waiting in the lounge for a drink all night and nothing happened.
Ugh, absolute disgrace. You know, I'll bring this up to the council when I get back.
The council?
Oh, you know. We call ourselves the council. We have a lot to say of how Manira is run. We're not the conclave, of course, but, you know.
A council of jewelers.
Hmm?
A council of jewelers.
No, I'm a jeweler, but there's many other of the wives that are a part of it.
Are you solely a jeweler, or do you also work in clockwork? Because you noticed your husband's eye.
Yes. No, I don't work in clockwork at all. I'm... to be honest, Dawson is the more of the jeweler. I'm more of the face.
Well, yes, we can certainly see that.
Thank you.
And what
He's
is
quite
the
lucky.
goal
He's
of
quite
your little
lucky to have
council?
me, so- Sorry.
I said, what is the goal of your little council?
Oh, we get together, once a week or so, maybe twice a week, and just discuss how we would really run the city,
And would the death of an ambassador be part of the plan?
Not really. I mean, because, you'd say having a dead ambassador would not be very good for the city in general, especially if he's supposed to be keeping the peace with the Empire, but... I know nothing of his business.
Does she seem to be forthright?
On the level.
Al, with your passive insight? Yeah.
Okay.
Very fond of herself, this one. So is that it? Is that all you want to know? Not all of us know the ambassador. He usually runs in higher circles than me.
Would you know of anyone on the ship who would have more dealings with him? I mean, besides the blue-haired prick upstairs.
He's a bit of a prick, isn't he? He's been eyeing me ever since I got on the ship.
He's very
No.
He's very what?
angry.
He is an angry individual, yes, but, I guess that's what businessmen are. In terms of other people who would know the ambassador... I mean, you could always talk to the professor. She might know something, but, again, I don't know.
We are intending to talk with everyone.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, am I good? Is my husband and I, are we okay? Can we move about the ship now? We're a bit afraid to even breathe after your little... She kind of looks you up and down, Cashé. And now
I think it would be safer if everyone stayed in the same place. At least for now.
Very well, but can you have food or drink being brought up? We're all just stuck in a room.
I'm sure we'll discuss it with one of the staff.
Yes, I'm sure we can arrange something else.
Very good. Thank you. Downs the drink, puts it down, hops off the stool, heads back upstairs.
Oh.
Al, do you like everyone?
I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I'm getting to talk to each person individually. It's brilliant.
I love it.
No, poor woman. She's wasted on him.
As she goes up the stairs, you notice as you look up, there is a figure standing at the top, and they slowly begin to make their way down. You recognize the Tabaxi individual who is the one who found the ambassador's body, slowly kind of making their way down. They are dressed in long, beautiful kind of burgundy robes that kind of crisscross over around their neck and go up over their head, and the little tufts of their ears stick out. And they kind of just look down. Sorry, can I speak?
Ah, we were just coming to get you.
Oh, brilliant, okay. She begins to make their way down. I do believe people are getting a bit nervous.
Yes, good.
Have
Nervous
you
people tend to
found
make
anything
mistakes.
out?
We found out quite a few details, yes. But
Okay.
nothing all that helpful.
Hmm.
Perhaps you could enlighten us more.
We'd be happy to help. Our name is Sanmei, speaker of the Rivas.
And your relationships with the ambassador?
I do not know the ambassador. This is the first time meeting him.
Then why were you in his room this morning?
You can see them kind of struggling a bit. Common isn't their first language. Senmei woke to find the door across from ours open. We could see the ambassador on the floor. We went to go get help.
Oh. Would it be more comfortable for you if you spoke in a different language?
I don't know if you speak my language. It is all right. It is good for us to practice. We are dreamer, what you call us in your tongue. We travel where the dreams take us. We offer guidance and help souls find what they have lost. We thought maybe we could help.
Well, the ambassador may not be dreaming anymore. Would you be able to find some dreams of his?
It doesn't really work like that. We facilitate dreams for people. We help them travel those realms. Fenris, this resonates with you because you knew someone who had this ability. Not so elegantly put, as Sanmei has said. Enethær. A woman that you know very, very well. She too saw things in her dreams. And during your time together, would sometimes visit you in yours. You're on mute.
What was this person's name again? Dreamer.
Our name is Sanmei, speaker of the Rivas.
Okay, so what can I get with... What do I remember of dreams from Enethær?
Excuse me. What you remember from Enethær is it made her a very interesting subject. The physicians were always keen to work on her, trying to access the natural abilities that she had in connecting with whatever area she was connecting with. Enethær had no training. She had no idea. What she explained to you was just she naturally did it. But you do know and you do remember her being dragged away quite a few times from yourself. You are on mute.
Tell me more about these dreams. Can they find anyone?
It would be easier if we worked with someone who knew the ambassador well. But seeing that he is dead,
Anyone besides Blue who knew the ambassador?
they would also have to be willing.
Oh, that rules him out then. Perhaps the doctor?
The doctor was mentioned.
In any case, if there's anything we can do to help.
That's much appreciated.
She kind of bows their head to all of you.
Yes. I'm sure we can bring the doctor down if you want to help her. Al, why don't you prepare more drinks?
Oh, I haven't stopped.
It's like 20 cocktails on the
Well, I mean, we did say we had to bring drinks up to people, or someone has to bring drinks up. Or...
Have you made that kind of glass pyramid?
Oh.
Oh, I don't think, considering how my previous attempt went, I don't think that's a good idea.
There's also smashed glass behind the counter.
Mind your feet. I'll head up to the lounge and look for the doctor.
Okay.
Oh, that's right, Humphrey isn't around to clean up after me.
Yep, still playing with the child upstairs.
Yeah, Humphrey's not around to engage in child labor.
He's not a child, he's a robot.
Okay. So you pop upstairs and you head your way. Oh, do you know who you're going for? Fenris.
The doctor, she said.
Doctor? Professor?
Professor, yeah.
Okay.
Professor.
Cool. Yeah, so you head upstairs. Currently sitting kind of opposite to Ivolo, you see the very bright faced half-elf woman who has really bright blue, like cobalt blue hair, and she is dressed to impress, mostly in this kind of ivory kind of outfit, and she's got bells and whistles, belts crisscrossing, pouches everywhere. She looks like an individual who just has everything at her disposal on her body. So.
Very well. Let's go up to her and, Madame, your presence is requested downstairs.
Is it? Alright, come on, Tenzin, come on. And she kind of gets up, and the little assistant kind of stands with her and is holding a big book in his hands and begins to follow. Where are we going?
Oh, just downstairs to the mess hall. I need to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
That's alright, yes, Tenzin, come on! She snaps her fingers, and Tenzin goes after her and
Is,
follows you downstairs.
Blue giving me the stink eye?
Blue is looking a little bit deflated, but as soon as you walk in, he kind of poses again, all kind of broad and annoyed. Oh, you make your way down?
Just before I leave, I'm going to use prestidigitation to make his clothes filthy.
Okay, you do so. He immediately notices, gets very upset, and starts looking around for who could potentially have done this. And then you watch him snap his fingers, and he cleans himself.
Okay. I'll just leave an odd odor near him.
Okay.
I don't leave that
You
with
do
her.
that, and you make your way downstairs.
Hey, I can be petty sometimes.
Alright. Professor makes their way down. Immediately snatches one of the cocktails. My goodness. What a doll you are. Thank you.
That's no problem. I thought it's always best to entertain guests.
What is that delectable taste?
I'm not really sure. I'll pull out the bottle that I've been using.
Okay. One of the bottles you are using is a very bitter gin. And the other is quite a nice yeared whiskey, which is an odd combination, but it's actually working.
Seems to be working nicely. Somehow the bitterness of this gin brings out the sweeter notes of the whiskey.
Delightful. An alchemist,
I'll be
I
honest, I don't
see.
really- Well, it seems to be.
Delightful. Sorry, I'm sure we're supposed to be talking to other people. Hi, my name is Professor... Forgot my name. Sorry,
Professor forgot my name.
That's the
Nice to
gin and
meet you.
whiskey.
Nice to
I
meet
just
you.
had a
Forgotten my
full
name.
brain fart. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So, oh,
My-
that whiskey gin combo goes straight to the
Woo!
head.
I've forgotten where I am.
Extremely potent.
My name is Professor Danny Alaric, and this is Tenzin. He's my assistant. Don't worry about him. He'll be here. He's going to be taking notes, though. I hope that's okay. Just to cover all of our bases. What can I help you with? Obviously, I'm sure it's questions about the ambassador, isn't it?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Well, I can say, fully to my knowledge, we had nothing to do with it. We were asleep in our cabin. I believe I was sharing cabin with you. Handsome Clockforge, you. Gives you a little wink.
I just kind of like nod the head forward.
Okay.
No, it's
And
fine.
When did you come back?
lovely individual who came and got me. I don't know your name though. Sorry, miss. I just.
Oh, my name is Fenris.
Fenris, darling. All right. With a smoky texture to your voice. I really like it. Sorry, and your name looks to you, Cashé.
Cashé, Sand Massage.
Very formal. Okay. Well, what would... Excuse me, sorry. What would you like to know?
Do you have a relationship with the ambassador?
Oh. Well, if I'm going to be frank, I do not know the ambassador very well at all. But, he's not well liked in the Institute, if I could speak plainly. He's always very... How shall I put it? Entitled? Pushy? I have nothing against Dragonborn. He's the ambassador after all. He can do what he wants, but, you know. You'd think he'd be a bit kinder to the professors there?
Well, apparently someone disliked him enough to cut his head off. So to speak.
My god, did they decapitate him?
Oh, no.
Decapitate, let's say that word again.
Back in
No, they did not.
No, I exaggerate.
Oh, it's a very odd time to be exaggerating. In any case, I do hear some rumors. I don't know if there'll be any help, but some of the professors were gossiping about the ambassador recently. He had become a bit haughty of late. Professor Lenore actually believed that his trade dealings in the Empire were going to his head a bit. Thought himself quite important.
Interesting.
He'd travel there, back to Austro-Acadia, probably every 3 to 6 months. Which seems like a lot, if you ask me.
Would you, by any chance, know what he was doing there?
No, I wouldn't know anything like that. But I'm assuming since he's an ambassador, he's making deals with the Empire. Oh, God. Don't scare the shit out of me. Yes.
And may I ask, what is your main point to study?
Oh, I'm a botanist, dear. I study poisons, plants. I've been actually looking into this very rare plant recently in Austro-Acadia. I actually wrote my book on it.
Any knowledge of
Interesting.
clockworks?
Sorry, Fenris. Speak up.
Any knowledge of clockworks?
Clockworks. I mean, more so than I'm assuming you have a individual who is quite learned in this matter. But no, myself, no.
Sorry,
Didn't quite have the fingers nor the mindset to work with machines. I prefer plants.
And this flower that you're dedicating a lot of study to, is it a poison?
It is. Oh, bear with me here. And she begins to rummage in her one of her mini pouches. Yes, here it is. And she pulls out this like kind of like glass, almost. It would be like a beaker, but like their version of it, and it's got a cork on the top, kind of a rounded bottom, and she pulls it out, and you can just see this wicked, weird looking like fungi mushroom that's got like spikes and weird like bright orange lines through it. It's a very odd looking thing. And she goes, yes, I've been studying the Dayfire mushroom, a fungi. I call it the untraceable killer. It's lovely. Do you want to see it? And she pushes it towards you.
Does this look anything like the poison that would have been inside the stinger?
Can I
mean, I would say you wouldn't really know because this is an actual, this is a fungi, and what you saw in the stinger was empty, but it looked like it contained liquid.
I'm going to pass it to Adam.
Okay.
I'll take a look at it. I'm not going to take it out of its vial or anything, but like, I assume it's a fully sealed kind of container.
For the mushroom, yes, it is fully sealed. Yeah.
That is that's an impressively strange-looking mushroom.
Isn't it? And you know what's even stranger?
Go on.
You can only harvest it on certain dead bodies. Something about their alchemical makeup just seems to sprout it like crazy.
Certain
So odd.
dead. Do you mean anybody once it's died under the right conditions, or
Exactly. That's exactly what my theory is. Doesn't seem to have any say on race or age or anything like that. No, it seems to be certain things that happen before this individual dies, and it will sprout all over it. It's very weird.
Some kind of parasite?
Potentially. I am bringing it back to my lab to do more research. It's been wreaking havoc in a small town near Austro-Acadia for a long time, so I thought I'd dip by and have a look.
and what are the what happens to one who is poisoned by this strange-looking thing?
I don't call it the untraceable killer for nothing. There is no trace. The person
just
simply dies.
Oh.
Yes, they have to ingest it, I believe. I haven't tested it myself, of course, but it seems to not be contact with the skin. I think it has to be ingested. But I do have plans to do a lot more experiments when I get back to my office. You seem quite
whatever you do
interested
to
in
me.
poisons.
I'm interested in anything, really, any field of study. This morning I woke up with a bit of an interest in, yes, alchemy. I suppose a bit more than usual.
Brilliant. Maybe we should talk more.
Hmm.
You'd be a delight to have at the Institute.
I would love to have you suggest some reading material.
Oh, I can
If
do
there's
that.
anything you have.
Of course. Well, then you must check out the library as well while you are here and check out all of the information and research.
That does sound fantastically interesting.
Just
Sorry,
to
dear.
bring this back to the murder,
Right, yes, the murder,
Oh.
yes.
could this be injected somehow and have the same effect?
Hmm. I mean, to be honest, anything with the right components could potentially be turned into a liquid of sorts, but I wouldn't know for this particular... And you watch as the gears start to work in her head. Was the ambassador killed by a poison?
It seems so.
Can I have a look?
Injected.
If that's all right. I mean, it is my field of study. Maybe I can help.
Gizmo,
Aye.
do you still have the spider?
I'd give it to Al, but maybe you've given it back.
Oh no, honestly, I'd kind of forgotten about it. Here, one sec.
I wouldn't drink that cocktail.
Oh, Ensign, quick! grab the gloves. And you watch this little kid like reaches into his little bag and he pulls out gloves and she quickly pulls it all the way up her arms and she flips her glasses down and she just immediately like reaches out for whatever you're handing her. Are you handing her the spider?
Yeah, I just kind of hold it by the leg and just kind of... There you go. I mean, they assured me there was no poison left in it.
Oh, fantastic. Craftsmanship is wonderful. Quickly, Tenzin, come over here. And he walks over and he like holds a little tray and she plops it down and she begins to work on it and kind of pull it aside. And you watch as she brings out all these different bells and whistles, slowly takes a swab of the inside of the injection, or of the kind of glass containment that held the poison, immediately goes over to other little vials and begins dipping it into these dark and clear liquids. And you watch as they seem to kind of change and flourish. One of them even starts to smoke. She's interesting. Oh, and the other one, Tenzin, bring this over. And the kid's like holding the tray with the spider and grabs something else, hands it to her. He just knows instinctively what she needs. And she continues to work and brings back her other magnifying glasses and looks at the one that has turned this bright fuchsia color. Oh, yes. I have seen this before. The traces are very, very minor. It obviously was used completely in the injection. Lirolite. Do any of you familiar with this?
Is anyone familiar with this?
I've heard of the term before.
Yes, so you know it's a flower. It's actually quite popular over in the Empire. Grows very nicely in the valley lands there.
I often use as like a painkiller.
A paralytic, yes. Very, very small doses. It's a very, very, very potent flower. Concentrated doses could lead to lung, heart failure. But watch this. And she like pulls something else out and maneuvers the little sample that she has, and she's like, watch. And drags it across her finger, and it's, for a moment you're like, wait, the poison! And she just drags it across her finger, and you watch as it just turns that whole section of her finger purple. If anyone was using this, it'd be quite easy to spot.
Yes, well, unfortunately it was inside the clockwork.
Cleans off her finger.
How long
It
does
was.
that stay on a finger?
Simply got everyone place the substance on their hands.
More like it will stain for a while. Very small doses. It's fine to be on the skin. Actually, it can make you feel a bit dizzy. But in concentrated doses, what I believe was injected, if you're saying the ambassador. How was the ambassador? How did he look?
Dead?
Clutching his throat? Was his
Yes.
eyes bulging
Yes.
out? Yes,
Absolutely.
it was this poison then. Can confirm that.
So do we just line everyone up and paint this on their fingers?
Well, if I were you, I would just have them line up and show you their fingers.
I think that's the next step.
Perhaps so.
As a question.
Oh, delightful! I'm so happy I was able to help. Please know that I did that to myself. I am not the murderer. Tenzin, quickly show your hands. And the kid like drops the tray and shows his hands. They're clear.
Thank you, Tenzin.
To ask, is that what it looks like when it's synthesized?
Usually, yes. It's that really beautiful color. I think that's why it makes people think it's not poison. It's so pretty to look at.
I might have seen something close by. Wasn't expecting it though.
Interesting.
I'm going to reach in for the 4 vials that I have. 4 glass vials.
Okay.
Put them out.
You all watch as Gizmo lays out 4 glass vials in the same color.
I handle my gun.
I only found out that I had these a few minutes ago.
Was that what you went to your room to go and get?
I wanted to check on the package that I was being asked to deliver. Once I checked inside it, I found those. Didn't really know exactly what they were. I'd heard of Leerolite, but it's used for medicinal purposes. I didn't think much of it. But now that this is a thing,
Did you find anything else in that package?
I did. I'll pull out the mechanisms that I found.
Okay.
I have something written down here, but I can't read it. Metal mind. Oh yeah, no, because it's made of metal and mind. Yeah, I'll pull out the mechanisms and the little energy cores, and I'll pull out the ledger as well.
Okay. You all see this kind of collection of mechanisms and then the ledgers as well, written in Elvish and Sylvan.
I was supposed to deliver this package was sent with me. But if there's a man's death on the line here, I want to be as forthcoming as I can.
Oh, this is getting juicy. She grabs another cocktail.
And how are we to know that you did just open this right now?
You're not? You really only have my word for it?
I mean, is there anything on your hands?
I'm gonna hold my hands up.
Okay. You all do see a small bit of the fuchsia colored, or not fuchsia, sorry, it's purple when it gets contact with other surfaces. Dark purple, just like you saw in the professor. Not a whole lot, it's a very small amount.
As I said, I only just pulled these out now. It just got on my hands. I realize it's not I'm not in an envious position right now, but I didn't do this. I don't really know what's going on.
I'm a light sleeper, so I would have heard you leave.
At this moment, all of you then hear, there's something else. I'm sorry, Ricky. I don't know how to do Revenant's voice. Revenant appears behind all of you, holding what appears to be ripped pages from a ledger. He super snuck away with his crazy stealth. None of you noticed. He has now appeared back, holding the pages.
And where would you have found those?
He immediately looks at you, Cashé. I found these under your cot, Cashé.
It's on my cot.
Walks over, gives them to you.
How would they get under there?
I went through all the rooms, checked everything. Noticed a board was loose under your cot. Checked inside and I found those.
Can I give them a quick read? See what's in them?
Yep. Go ahead. Insight check.
Does Cashé seem genuinely perturbed or more caught out?
Inside checks all around?
Insight check, everyone!
Here we go.
16 plus 7.
For your insight check on Revenant? Okay. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Ricky. He rolled real low. But again, he's very difficult to read with that mask. But there is a tone shift to him. He seems quite inquisitive towards you. Not in a threatening way, more in a something weird is going on way.
Interesting. And what's on the actual pages that are ripped out?
We'll go over that in a second. I know, Al, you were insight checking Cashé, I believe.
Yes.
Okay,
What was
what did
that?
you get? 18?
18.
18? Chris, or sorry, Gizmo?
Not even worth mentioning.
Cool,
Very low.
okay.
Very strength.
You... There's a lot going on. The two of you... Well, Cashé, how do you feel?
I am genuinely confused as to why the pages are in there, and also angry at the accusation that's being plonked.
Okay.
Who else was in your room?
Two children and the nanny.
Anyone there to clean it?
Not that I'm aware of. I wasn't in there all day.
Annie. Was
I
she
was
assigned?
hired for a job that year. Sorry, I can barely hear you.
Sorry, I was saying, was she hired alongside you with the job? Has she been their nanny for a long time?
Would I know that?
You don't know? You've never asked?
I'm not quite sure.
Perhaps we should interview her next.
Perhaps so.
Cashé, those
Alright.
papers. Are you looking at them, or?
Yes, I am.
You see that these pages are confirming appointments, meetings, with high members of the Empire, including Duke Lavak, and someone named Reelin Harrienskar.
And do I recognize any of those names?
You do indeed. No roll needed.
Oh, yeah.
You are very well versed in the Harrienskars. General Harrienskar was of the Empire's fleet, towering Goliath of a man, known to show no mercy on the battlefield. During the peace talks, before you were even put on leave, you accompanied many of these meetings, these talks of a truce, between the nations, and Harrienskar was always present. A very intimidating force of the Empire.
Okay. I kind of relay all that information and my feelings for said general.
You do relay or you don't?
I do.
Okay. So, all of you hear that.
Wait, did you mention Archduke Lavark? He's mentioned
Yes.
in the ledger as well. It's hard to make out. It's written in Elvish and Sylvan script, and there's also a code applied to it. The little bit I could make out glancing through, that name's mentioned.
Interesting.
Fenris, you recognize Harrienskar as well, but not a general. You recognize Raylan. You remember hearing your old guild speak about the Harrienskars. That family in particular was very powerful. Yes, the general, but also the rest of them. And you know very well, because they deal with black market technology and weapons.
I'll relay that. Black market tech such as clockwork.
So maybe the ambassador was trading technology with the Empire?
When Blue said there were packages going missing, and the ambassadors told him it was not worth mentioning, Does anyone think that the ambassador was the one taking them?
I don't think
Taking them for trade.
accusations are made. That's a good point.
In that
If-
case, there'd be a great many people who would stand to gain from the ambassador no longer being able to keep up his little game.
Perhaps.
It does occur to me though, there's a great number of people who could have possibly wanted them dead. And this Lyra light is created from the Lyra flower. It grows wildly in the Empire. Many people could have synthesized something from this. But wanting to put the pages under your room, that's specific.
That
Also,
is-
my job was to collect the children from the Empire and bring them home.
Is that where the nanny came from? So
I'm unsure. Perhaps we should bring her down and ask her.
I think
Agreed.
that might be the next question.
Okay. Well, this has been delightful. I hope you find the murderer. And she takes the rest of the drink. She goes upstairs.
One moment.
Oh, sorry, dear.
The dreamer, are they still here?
I don't believe so. I believe they went back upstairs.
Okay. If they were here, I was going to ask, but if not, then never mind. I'll think of that later.
Okay. So you are bringing down the nanny?
Yeah,
Enya?
bring down the nanny.
Alright, so Enya comes down. She has left the children. Ronnie's 14, so she can watch them, watch Belzal, so she comes down.
Yeah, Humphrey can
and,
take care of them.
You see the half-elven woman with kind of dark brown hair, tight bun pulled behind her head, and she kind of quietly comes down and sits down staring at all of you. I guess it's my turn then. How can I help?
Children.
Oh, sorry.
The children are okay. Ronnie's looking after Belzal. She's quite capable.
Just a few questions.
Of course, anything I can do to help.
How long have you been nanny to the children?
I was brought on by the Eltanes about a year and a half ago. Before that, I was nanny to a few other families throughout the city, but Lady Eltane has been very kind to me.
You didn't notice anyone coming into our room at any stage?
No. After you and I spoke for the time, I sang to comfort the children. Must have soon fell asleep. I have the worst kink in my neck. I probably should have gone back to my cot. But I didn't want to risk waking them.
Can I have a look at her hands?
I'd make a perception check, yeah.
I'll hand her a drink to get her to put her hands in.
Okay. Roll with advantage then.
Okay. I give you the advantage. 24.
24. Okay. Kind of keeping an eye on her hands. She is a little bit nervous with all of your passive insights. That's quite clear to see. And she reaches out and she kind of grasps the cocktail. Goes to bring it kind of forward and takes a sip, but kind of with the bitterness, and puts it back down. And as she puts it back down, Fenris, you notice her sleeve rides up just a small little bit, and on her wrist it looks like a dark purple mark. I don't really know what more I can say. I've been looking after the children for most of the day. Are we safe, Cashé?
We're safe.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Although I had a dream last night of. Have you ever heard of the General Aaron Scar?
Harry and Scar. No, I don't know that name.
Insight.
Go ahead. Roll insight.
5 plus 7. So 12.
What did you roll, Fenris?
Ooh. That's 23. Natural 18.
Drilled a natural 1. There is a particular venom, as she says Harry and Scar's name. Hides it pretty well, but such a tragedy what happened to the ambassador, isn't it? I didn't know him at all. It happened on our journey back home, and poor kids aren't going to be able to sleep for weeks.
I'm gonna take a step back from everyone, just a couple of steps back, and just whisper to Silverlight. How do I handle this?
I don't know if it's your fight to handle, my dear. Back her up. But I think this is her fight. Enya kind of looks at you, Cashé, for this kind of long pause. Is everything all right?
I noticed the stain as well as Fenris.
I would say I don't think you kind of saw it. I don't think you saw it. I think Fenris saw it.
Okay.
But you definitely heard the venom in her words when she said Harry and Scar. And she also is looking at you and starts to kind of tense up a little bit and shift in her chair and
Well, unfortunately, I was checking underneath my cot there earlier, and I'm curious, ripped up sheets of paper, and I was kind of messing with them in my hand, just kind of waving them. Some very interesting information. Looking at it the entire time.
really? What were they about?
That's when we mentioned Harry and Scar.
Anyone else?
A
Just
few.
No, sorry, go ahead.
When I see you go up, I'll look at you.
I'll just walk up quietly behind you. I just whisper to you, it's her. Purple on her arm, under the sleeve.
You hear in your head, are you sure?
Not completely, but you never be too sure about these things.
Enya,
Yes.
the poor ambassador was poisoned. And if you just show me your hand, this particular poison, as I reach out for her hand, will she give it?
pauses. You said it shows on the hands.
Not necessarily.
She kind of looks down. I am sorry. And she twists a ring on her finger and vanishes.
Can I...
Counterspell.
Oh, damn. Can I counterspell, yeah?
It is a magical item,
Ah, shit.
but
Ah,
all of you do hear screaming coming from upstairs.
fuck. She got the children.
You're all up.
Alright, I'm gonna head upstairs then, and I'm gonna activate the detect magic.
Okay. Activates tech magic. And as you all run upstairs, or kind of like clamber over each other to run up the
I would
stairs
stop to grab
after
my
this individual.
supplies before I go. I would grab my journal.
That's fine. Okay, so you grab all the stuff that you laid out.
Yep.
Good. So you take a moment. You're the last one up.
Grabbing
Who's
a drink
leading?
on the road.
Grab it as you
Yeah.
run. Okay.
Who's closest to
Cashé,
the
are
door?
you leading?
If I can be in front, I'm trying to be in front, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go behind her then.
Okay, so the two of you almost like kind of, it's not enough for two people, but you can be right next to each other, right behind each other. You run up the stairs and you can hear people shouting and kind of like, wait, what's going on? And people, you see one person has been shoved to the floor. There's currently like starting to stand up. It's not a very long staircase up to the lounge. So you see someone kind of like trying to stand up. You see the crew member, Ray, is like, she just appeared out of nowhere and then vanished again. And then somebody's like, hey, where's that other kid? And Cashé, you see Belzal currently sitting on the floor, clutching Humphrey, and looking out the open door leading onto the deck. Ronnie is nowhere to be found.
I'm going to Misty step up through the deck onto the door if I can see it.
Okay.
And I am running up.
Okay. You all immediately run up, and you come out into, and you see an individual currently steering the ship and kind of looking forward, like out towards more of like the top part of the ship. And no one else is really up here because everybody's been in the lounge. So at the moment, you don't see anything as you come out of here. You don't see anybody.
I can't see anyone up on any of the decks if I go up to the top deck.
Yeah, so if you want to climb up it's just the lower part of the deck you can't see up on the top part, so.
Yeah, I'll jump up then.
Okay, so you and Cashé. Al, Gizmo, are you following or are you staying in the lounge?
No, I'm following up along. Do I hear Fenris saying that she can't see anyone?
I would say so, yes.
Okay, I immediately turn back around and I run down to grab the lantern off the corner of the wall and run back up again.
Okay. Now, again, these stairs aren't very
yes.
long, so you can and turn around.
Yes.
Grab the lantern, back up the stairs, and people are starting to kind of gather themselves and be like, "Oh my God, she took the child! What are we doing?" And and then you just keep running up and out. The rest of you come up to the top of the deck, and Cashé, as you round the stairs up to the upper part, the high part, kind of where Gizmo was hanging off the other night. You see currently Enethær holding Ronnie against her, with a clockwork spider in her hand, and she is standing on the edge of the ship. I don't know where you all are. There you are. Come here.
Oh, yeah.
Whee! Through the walls. Come here, Al. I'll just get you up here.
Sorry, I seem to be a bit tipsy.
Oh, Gizmo, come on. You're going to the wrong spot. There you guys are. Hey, well,
Are we all
easy.
up on the deck now?
Well, Al, did you go up on the
Okay.
deck, or are you staying on the lounge?
No, I would have been on deck, but I might have like stayed probably not far from the door.
Okay, yeah. I can move it back down, sorry. Gizmo, would you have stayed down too, or?
How from like the bottom part of the deck up? How high of a difference is that?
It's about 10 feet.
Okay, so I can't see over it. Okay.
I wouldn't say so, no. You'd have to climb up the stairs.
Could I say that I came around like kind of maybe halfway up the stairs on the other side?
Definitely, yeah.
I'll be about here.
Okay. So as you, Cashé and Fenris, as you round the corner there, you see Enya currently holding Ronnie. Ronnie starts to have a little bit of tears in her eyes. She is very, very scared. And Enya is holding one of the kind of writhing spiders in her hand. You couldn't just let it go, could you? Manira is better off without that scaled tyrant. May he rot in the 9 hells for what he did.
There's no need to kill him for it. And put some children in danger?
Don't be blind, Cashé. I know you read through his affairs. He was meeting with the Gilded Eye and the Harrian Scars for months. I thought you, of all people, would understand. After what they made you do. Countless innocent people died for their war, like my brother, and for what? For bastards like him to sell weapons on the black market. To trade our secrets to the Empire. They brokered peace to secure their own necks.
We need justice. We don't need vengeance. Enough vengeance was done at the war. Enough people died because of it.
You're right. We do need answers and justice. And we won't stop until the truth is revealed. And all of those traitors are dead! And then, we'll truly be free. Long live Avasha
I'll just
Rose
blast the-
Ronnie stabs herself with the spider.
I was gonna say, as soon as Ronnie's clear, I'll just blast the clockwork spider.
Okay, you can attempt. At
Uh,
disadvantage,
I was also going to try something.
because this thing is very small. So go ahead.
I was also going to go for the clockwork spider,
Okay.
but I was going to go for magic missile.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
Alright. Very good. Eldritch Blast, what was that?
There we go. Okay. Oops. It's a double 18 for 26.
Okay. I would say, due to the blast of Eldritch Blast, you actually hit her. You hit her hand. She is holding it in her hand. So it is still... Like, you've shot that, and she takes how many points of damage?
Um, 8 points of damage would be.
8 points, okay. And then we also have a magic missile, so the two of you are... You're doing magic missile?
Yeah, I'm aiming for the spider.
For the spider,
So
perfect.
three darts all to it.
All to it, perfect. So, you all watch as the Eldritch Blast is released, strikes her in the hand. She doesn't even have time to, like, pull it close to her or anything, as these... What does your magic missile look like?
So from like the kind of back compartments that I have, they kind of like slide apart, and out from the spine, you watch as this kind of plant-like growth kind of ripples out that have these like protrusions or holes, almost like stomata on a leaf, and you just watch as these green bolts of energy just out the back of it. Again, like heat-seeking missiles.
Absolutely amazing. How many points of damage?
I just added that. 12.
12 total. Oof, okay. All right.
Magic missile doesn't miss, so that goes straight to it, or
That goes straight to it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm almost saying like for flavor wise, it's like you blasted it with the Eldritch Blast, and she kind of loosened her grip, and then the 3 bolts of magic missile just immediately smashes the spider before she can do anything. You can actually see her whole entire hand and arm is just covered in that purple liquid as it's staining her skin, and she just kind of looks at all of you.
I gotta rush up with Silverlight drawn to restrain her.
As soon as you move forward, she lifts her arms out and drops off the side of the ship.
I don't suppose I get another spell off, do I?
I'd say this is all happening pretty quickly, so this would have to be Cashé or Owl.
Not
Do
with a bonus action, do we?
Could I be seeing this?
Did you move during when you started hearing the shouting and like?
Oh, I would have probably maybe stood up on the bench or something and peered out. I just
Peered out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
yeah, I can say you're doing things, but
And
I will ask Cashé first. Cashé, are you doing anything, or are you just catching Ronnie?
I would
See, that's pretty
definitely
much
be
all you can
concentrating on the. Yeah, I'd be definitely concentrating on getting the child.
Okay. You successfully
So-
grab Ronnie, so yeah.
Can I seeing her this whole thing go down, her kind of out of options, can I just look at her and close my eyes and cause a momentary stasis?
God damn it! Yeah, you can.
No.
Okay.
No more people are dying today.
I just love the idea of Al just holding the cocktail, being like, "No." No.
I
So-
think
Okay,
not.
So walk me through momentary stasis.
Constitution save DC 16.
I have to pull up her stats. Oh! Ho! She rolled a natural 16 plus 2.
No. I mean, can I use again?
All of our
Wait.
abilities
My
to
last
keep-
Wait. Hang on. So hang on, let me find that feature. I do remember the stasis. Oh, it is an action, and Chrono Shift is a reaction. I'll allow it. You have one more use of it.
Okay, I'm
Bending
going to
space and
force
time
a
to keep
reroll.
this one alive.
Yeah.
Completely, like he is a chronology wizard. So.
Oh yeah.
Alright. So she has to roll it again.
Mm.
Ah, she rolled 2.
Yes.
So you watch as this seemingly stasis moment where she lifts her arms out to fall backwards, accepting her fate, and you watch as she starts to fall again, and then gets pulled up a little bit more, and is now currently like that weird way where she's like hanging on, like she would fall if that stasis dropped. She is in that moment. So how long
Okay,
does that
someone
last?
grab her. That's not going to last long. Someone grab her quickly.
I'm gonna rush forward and grab her.
Okay. You
I-
successfully do.
I will run up and help him hold her.
Okay. So she's kind of laid back, and you can just see tears starting to stream down her face as she didn't make her escape. And as you guys bring her back down, how long does that last? Hang on, let me check.
It lasts one round until the end of my next turn.
Okay, so 6 seconds.
Yes, that's very quickly.
Very quickly. All right, so yeah, so you guys managed to grab her in time, pull her back onto the deck of the ship, and she comes back into her body and is kind of sitting in between both of you.
Okay, I could hold her restrained, but I'm not going to hold her very tight at all. Just basically on the shoulder to make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Do I have a set of military standard issue? Why can't I think of the name?
Manacles?
Yeah, those.
Yes.
Yeah, or handcuffs. One of them works.
I would say so, yes.
Yes, I will slap those on her straight up.
As you get close, can I hold out my hand to say no to the shackles?
She murdered someone.
Used a child as a hostage.
I think circumstances are a lot more complicated than black and white.
It may be, but for our safety and the safety of the children, I think it's necessary.
We just need to make sure she can't hurt herself, and we can bring her downstairs.
I mean, I don't see. I fail to see what's wrong with using manacles. I mean, some people do it for fun.
Cashé, you know if you hand me over to your military, they're gonna kill me.
You will get a trial.
How blind you truly are.
Can I insight check Cashé when she said he'll get a trial?
Go ahead.
She'll get a trial.
Can I insight check?
Everybody!
No, inside check.
Manacles.
Sorry, say again? You want to insight check Fenris?
You want to inside
Fenris,
check
yes,
the manacles?
For the manacles. Okay, so you roll an insight check against Fenris. Gizmo, what did you get for against
6.
Cashé? Okay. You're a bit confused and overwhelmed by all of the information that has happened in the last 20-30 minutes.
I just like
It's
to
been a
build
lot.
robots.
Yeah, there's just a lot of realizations that you weren't quite prepared for in this whole scenario. Al?
24.
Okay. So what are you trying to glean?
Why Fenris might be against using manacles on someone who is twice tried to kill themselves and has killed someone else and used a child as a hostage.
I would say, in this particular case, Fenris, I would let you share with what you want, but you don't need to give anything, like, personal away. It can be more body language, because you can't just insight check and get, like, information about people,
Yes.
like, backstories, but you can get body language. So, and you can get kind of facial expressions. So
Yeah,
I would say, what does Al see in Fenris's movements? I know immediately you mentioned that you put a very gentle hand on her shoulder. So that's one kind of motion that you saw.
Suppose she seems slightly protective over the now disarmed woman, but also when she sees the manacles, it's always like an instinctive flinch.
Yeah, so Al, that's what you pick up on.
Okay.
Well, I'll hold you to your word, Cashé, if you think I'll actually get a fair trial. But it doesn't matter anyway. Avasha won't stop, just with me dead. I will live on, my brothers and sisters.
That name.
If you don't.
Who is this Avasha?
We're the true sons and daughters of Avasha. The ones who have been thrown aside, forgotten, like my brother. They didn't even care about him. They just wanted more bodies for their war.
Seems like you're quite good at just using flowery language to justify your own violence.
Sometimes violence is the only way we'll be noticed.
Aye. The difference between you and the tyrants are the ones who have the power. You're no better.
Oh, Ian. Just starts to go quiet after that.
This
This just leads
straight
to-
back into another war.
Violence is just a waste of youth.
He goes quiet. He no longer speaks or looks at any of you. And in this moment of silence, all of you a bit tense, unsure of each other, unsure of what is going on, and unnerved by this whole state of events. I think we'll call it there tonight.
Okay.
Very good. Very good session.
Big deep breath.
Wow.
Ooh,
Oh my god.
big deep breath.
Quite a lot of tension here.
Mm.
I guess the most amount of notes I've ever taken out in a single game. It was just so
That was a big lore game. If there's anything you want me to go back over, just let me know later on. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, big deep breath. That was an intense session. Make sure to drink water, get a lots of sleep, decompress with your friends, and we will see you in the next episode.